Hello! Welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for you with some tarot, some archetypes, connecting to the energy of the planet Jupiter. Yeah, so we'll take a look at Jupiter really quick, and then we'll get started on the reading. So, as you can see, I've got this set to the, let's see, I don't know why it moved it, that was weird. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, so at the current time, it is November 20th, 2025. It is 11:46 where I am now, and this is where Jupiter currently sits in the sky if we use our eyes or telescopes, binoculars to look at it. So you can kind of see it's kind of like in between Cancer and Gemini, but on the charts, because of the way they've got midpoint boundaries that are calculations to get an estimate of where is the middle between the signs, so we can get these true sky charts mapped out. Right on here you can see they consider it to still be in Gemini, but I would consider this to be kind of a blend of, oh sorry, let me take my glasses off there, of kind of both Gemini, Cancer energy. And we're also dealing with the sixth house here. So health, service to others, things like that. Um, yeah, so we'll keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind, Jupiter is currently retrograde, and I think it is going to be retrograde until like March of next year, something like that. It's a while. So it's actually moving back deeper into the sign of Gemini. The apparent motion from our perspective on Earth, it's not actually moving backwards. The planets don't do that. They maintain their orbits, right? But from our observations, it looks like in the sky that it's moving backwards through the sign of Gemini. So it's kind of an illusion, which gives it symbolic value. Uh, so it is thought that when planets are retrograde, they are weaker than normal. They're in like a weakened state. And with Jupiter, Jupiter is, it's beyond Mars. So we have Earth, Mars, Jupiter, right? Um, so it's kind of out there. It's a big energy, and it's associated with kings. And on the bottom, we have the King of Pentacles for the tarot. So we are definitely dealing with this energy, this masculine king-like energy. And I was even feeling in my meditation today this like global like leadership energy, right? So, and we even have once again this recognition of leadership with the mentor, right? A guide, um, somebody who has experience, knowledge, maybe in a position of power of some kind, with the King of Pentacles coming up. Yeah. And of course, we're dealing with the planet Jupiter, so that is, Zeus, right? King of the gods. So, yeah, that's very much the energy we are working with today. So, to get started, I want to grab a random saying here. I'm going to randomize it to just one. Yeah. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, okay, so I feel like that's hilarious. This is just kind of confirming to me that what I just said is indeed the energy of the message. We are dealing with the energy of people in positions of power, mentors, guides, kings, presidents, things like that. So this might be a fairly global message, but um, reality is a mirror of us. So you can see how this narrative plays out on all levels of your reality at this current moment, right? You gotta use your own intuition, use your own feelings in order to extrapolate the message and see how it works for you. That's part of the fun. Yeah, at least for me anyway. So let's also get a figure, see which one it gave us off the bat. The pig returns. This, yeah, I had this figure pop up in one of my other readings. I'm getting something to do with value, money, potentially. Doesn't necessarily have to be money, but I'm getting like the piggy bank idea again coming through here, especially when it's coming out with this King of Pentacles. You can see on the bottom here it says security. So it's this idea of savings, right? The piggy bank, putting your money in, saving it away for something, and then the mentor, the way it's depicted here, it's the towel kind of guiding this golden energy, right? It's like protecting it. This idea of saving, protecting, storing. Yeah. And we also have the number 6 coming out again. We're dealing with this Jupiter in the 6th house, right? Well, the number 6 is on top of the mentor. This is the 6th card in the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. Okay, let's I'm actually going to start with some archetypes, and then I will pull some tarot. Just want to see what archetypal energies are we dealing with. Obviously, there's this energy of like storing, saving, um, pulling back, especially with Jupiter in retrograde. It's like a pulling back. It seems like it's moving backwards, right? So it's this illusion of going backwards, but really what it might be is this kind of like recalling energy, whether that be finances or like physical energy, because pentacles can also be about health. And we are dealing with the 6th house, which is, like I said, about health and service to others, or the types of service that you provide to others. So, all right. Nothing wanted to pop out, so I'm just going to draw 3, and we will get on with it. On the bottom, we have the flame. So we have this energy of fire coming through. Number 51, which if you reduce that is the number 6. So once again, the number 6 coming through strong. Yeah, there's an illumination happening here, and it's like this sliver of light in the darkness, right? So things may seem a bit shadowy, unclear at this time, but there does seem to be this guiding light that you can, slowly walk around in the darkness with, so you can see your way, not bump into anything or trip over anything, right? Ooh, we've got Thanatos. This is death energy. Yeah, you can see there's a spider web with all these like appendages, hands caught in the middle there. It's like this. I'm getting this energy of like hidden deals done in the shadow, things like that, entangled in this web. And at some point, it's kind of this energy of deception, right? And I was picking up on that with the flame as well. This like guiding light through the darkness. It's like when somebody makes these like deceptions, these lies, they can only last for so long until they get completely entangled in them, and then they're just stuck in them. And food for any creature that comes along, they're trapped. It's almost like they're being eaten alive by their own deception. Yeah. But anyway, Thanatos carries that energy of death. So a massive ending of some kind on the horizon here. You can see we've got the number 73, which reduces to a 10 or a 1, or yeah. So once again, 10, completion, the ending of something. Yeah. We have the ocean coming through here with number 35, which reduces to an 8. So this idea of expansiveness, reconnecting with source, unlimited possibilities, those kinds of things. So I'm getting this feeling already that this ending is bringing about a grand new adventure. And then finally we have the underworld. I knew I was picking up on that dark energy. Yeah, so This is definitely some. It has something to do with things done in the shadows, in the darkness, out of public visibility. But this is coming to an end, right? this this illusion, whether it be a web of lies or just misunderstandings, whatever, but this entanglement, this dark entanglement, um, seems like it is kind of like smoothing out. It's being washed away, right? It's being cleansed. The ocean is like the ultimate like it's like healing, right? It's associated with the moon, and the moon affects the ocean. You know, they're intimately linked, and it's this idea of the moon is kind of dark energy as well, but it's a like nurturing dark energy, if that makes sense. And the ocean is, well, it's kind of everything, right? We wouldn't exist without it. The source of life on this planet, and it has healing capabilities on its own accord. Yeah, this is our okay. So this is going to be a pretty interesting rating. I can already tell. Um, let's pull some cards. Yeah, look at that on the split. The moon. Yep. So we are taking a journey through the shadows in this reading, guys. Through the darkness of people in power, people in the know, guardians of secret knowledge. And we've only got our tiny little flame of awareness to guide us through this, but it's going to give us at least a little bit of a glimpse of what might be going on here. Okay. Let me move these up here so I got a little bit more room. All right. Nothing seems to be wanting to pop out today. So once again, this energy of like things like under wraps, like held close to like cards being held close to the chest or like stashed away, right out of sight. You really have to dig to get to what's going on here. Okay. On the bottom, we got the Ace of Cups. It's giving me a connection to the ocean archetype there, with water coming through with cups. And the ace, you can see it says revival. Like I was saying, some kind of like washing away. Um, it's like this idea of like being baptized in the ocean, like cleansing of some kind. Right. Ooh, yeah, secrets, the high priestess, but also intuition and the ability to pick up on energy and know that something is not quite what it seems. Nine of Wands, perseverance, yeah. So this has been going on for quite some time, but it's coming to some kind of ending, and a really big ending too. I mean, Thanatos is like big death energy. Like this is like, okay, things are so hopelessly entangled at this point. The only way to clear it is to, you know, reap what has been sown, right? Like these deals, you can see there's hands like shaking and all these connections that have been made in these like dark means. Well, the Reaper is coming to collect. That's the kind of energy I'm getting here. And then finally, Five of Swords. Yeah, controversy. Okay. So, the Five of Swords is an interesting card because it is controversy, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be like a bad energy always, because it is also a card of like winning. Usually you can't have a winner without a loser, or you can't have winners without losers, right? So this could be a card of like the tides shifting, especially with the moon making an appearance when I was shuffling on Split, and then also the ocean. Um, it's like the ending of how things have been, and then this like reversal, right? I'm getting some kind of a reversal feeling, especially with the Ace of Cups on the bottom. This is like it says, revive. It's a revival, right? A replenishment. All right, let's get some nouns here. See what else we're dealing with. I'm gonna reduce these. Cover, yeah, that idea of something being in a badge, like okay, officiality. I don't want to go too deep into these because there's a lot, but I just want to deal with three. So, Spirit, please give us three really good words to describe the energy of this situation that we are talking about. Thank you. Okay. Bed's aftermath creature. Yeah, so um, for one thing, this bed's creature combination here is giving me the energy of this Thanatos card, right? Because it's almost like the spiderweb is a bed, and it's like all these deals. People who, when you talk about corrupt politicians, you say that they're in bed with each other, right? They're making closed behind doors deals, um, shady things like that. That's it's giving me this once again. And then aftermath is the idea of like a completion and then what we're left with after the fact. So that's where I'm gonna dig in a little bit more. It's what is the after? Oh, okay. I'll take those. What is the aftermath gonna look like potentially? Page of Pentacles reveal. This is like evidence coming to light, right? Yep. Let's see what these cards. So I had four cards fall here. The first one, the Hermit. Yeah. So this is to me is the. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me take. Got some black cherry herbal tea here. It's really good. But yeah, this Hermit card, this energy is giving me that investigative. I mean, look, he's got his little flame, right? Just like we do. It's this investigative energy, and the Hermit is like related to the sign of Virgo, and that is a very methodical, like checking all the details, checking all the boxes, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. It's like this investigative energy. And with the Five of Swords and this controversial energy coming through, it is something, yeah, something coming to light, some new evidence. And it's this big deal, whatever it is. We also have the Four of Swords. So, yeah, um, the Hermit and the Four of Swords. This is like the investigation over. It's like you can put your all this mental energy you've been spending on trying to figure out what's been going on. You can put them down now. Like it's time to rest. You can see it says sanctuary at the bottom. Four of Swords is like resting. You can think of it as meditating, sleeping, but like letting laying your thoughts down and just regenerating. Right? It's the idea of regeneration again. The aftermath. So the aftermath is giving us this opportunity to rest. Because another way you could read the Hermit is kind of the same, right? It's this going within. He's sitting inside a cave there and shining a light, but you don't necessarily have to let your thoughts go wild, right? You can put your thoughts to rest as well. Now is what I'm getting there. Let's see. Seven Swords Deception, yeah. That shadowy dark energy, right? Some backroom deals have been going on. There's some kind of like mass deception, even maybe at a lower local level, closer to you, maybe in your community somewhere. This kind of story could be playing out as well, but it seems that time is running out for this secrecy, hidden, these hidden deals. The truth is coming out. Yeah, Ten of Swords, game over, massive change. I mean, Ten of Swords with Thanatos, this is going to be brutal for whoever's been involved in these shady deals, these dark deeds. It's yeah, not gonna be pretty. Oh, and underneath the Page of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this information has been, you know, it almost feels like somebody's been looking into this for quite some time, especially with the Knight of Pentacles coming out. It's a very slow moving energy, but it's getting to the point where now it can be released. This new information that hasn't been. I mean, you can see there's a full moon in the background on this card. It's like coming to light, right? And this hasn't been like a solo thing. This has been a collaboration. Three of Pentacles. So there may have been quite a lot of people looking into this for quite some time, and the jig is up, is what I'm getting. The jig is up. This could have something to do with fraud in some way, or something to do with money, because we have the piggy bank here, and a lot of Pinnacle energy coming out. It could also have to do with health, because we are dealing once again with the sixth house. So I don't want to say somebody would have intentionally harmed someone's health, but I mean, these things happen in this world, right? So we have to be aware of them and acknowledge them, and the potential that it could be going on around us, right? You don't want to just ignore the signs and the evidence, right? You got to face the truth. Whatever's revealed. Like I said, this one's looking like it's not going to be very pretty, whatever this is. It has something to do with greed, because with the pig, I love pigs. I think they're great, but they are often used to indicate greed as a form of speech, right? Calling someone a pig. Also, cops. So law enforcement. Yeah. Once again, it's like there's this illegal kind of greedy. And it could be all of these things kind of wrapped up together, because what's a good motivation for wanting to harm someone's health? Well, money, for one. And then when you have that going on, uh, and somebody's aware of it, somebody could have been tipping off law enforcement somehow, or they're going to be involved in this potentially once it all comes to light. Yeah. Okay. So we are really digging through the underworld today. Yeah. Yep. 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 Okay. I feel like there was a word. Okay, no, yeah, we dug into aftermath. We got beds, creature cover. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get a lot of specifics about this, because this is a general reading, right? So this is kind of just the overall theme of a narrative that may be playing out in our lives at this time. And it's good to be aware that such a theme, such a narrative could be playing out on many different levels, all the way from the tippity top of the world all the way down to, family dynamics, community dynamics, work dynamics, all of it. So it's good to just be aware if you have been feeling off about something lately, this could just be confirmation for you that, yeah, not all is quite as it seems. But of course, use your own intuition above all else, especially when it comes to things like these. Um, and don't just jump to conclusions either, because this is a very murky energy, right? Like, this is like the land of illusions, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is everyone should have their day in court, and we have legal proceedings that are fair, and, well, at least they should be fair and just for a reason, because all the evidence needs to come out before we can sentence someone in our hearts and in our minds. And even then, there's you gotta there's that element of forgiveness, right? You can't hold on especially if this affects you personally in some way. um, Holding on to hate or or anger or any of that stuff, obviously you have to feel it when it first comes up, but like holding on to it is only going to harm you in the long run, right? So that's the sixth house energy coming through again. It's like, yeah, forgiveness. It's okay to be hurt whenever something happens to you, but you can't just hold on to it. So, and like I said, I don't know, this is going to be different for everybody, the specifics, but this is just the general. Something's off. Something behind closed doors has been going on, and it's been, somebody's been acting out of their ego, greedy, potentially harming others to get what they want. That's the kind of thing that's going on here. Okay, so let's get some advice. Uh, yeah, I hope this is not you that has been doing this. If it is, then your day is coming. I hate to tell you, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, you know, this is me. Well, you better start owning up, is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, you can't outrun the truth. I hate to tell you, it's gonna come back to get you eventually. So let's get some verbs for advice. Let's just get 3. All right, Spirit, please give us the most meaningful. I saw meaningful as the first word on that list when I first opened it. But the most meaningful, appropriate advice for the situation for the viewers of this message. Thank you. Okay, yeah, lovingly. So, yeah, lovingly only, fondly. Yes, okay. So there's emphasis here when, especially only, lovingly only, fondly, right? Lovingly, fondly, only. It's like you could read this any way you want. Only, lovingly, fondly, lovingly, only, fondly, only, lovingly. No matter how you read it, it's saying the same thing. It's whenever this comes to light, whatever it is, this new evidence, whenever this web falls apart, this deception, whenever it is cleared away, dissolved in the ocean, whenever the workings of the underworld surface for all to see, remember to remain in love, which easier said than done, but that's the challenge, right? Is forgiveness and compassion. Um, because whatever this is, it seems like there's a lot of heavy feelings with it, and it's something big. I mean, Jupiter is big energy. It's the biggest planet in our solar system. It's a gas giant, and it is associated with the symbol of the king. So it's like ego, right? Like this is, and it goes both ways, right? The perpetrators, I'm sure they have big egos. Otherwise, why would they have done the perpetration in the first place? But then also, the victims can have inflated egos. Like you can really that like victim ego can take over whenever you feel you've been wronged, right? So it's like this, like, oh, woe is me, poor me. Oh my gosh, how could this happen to me and mine? And the advice here is to temper that with love and fondness and trying to understand the story, however it relates to you, however it plays out for you, in a loving and compassionate way. So I will pull some cards just to close it out if there's two, and then I'll get one more. And I'm just going to take the one on the bottom and along with these. Oh, there's actually three here already. Okay. So on the bottom, yeah, we have the Emperor, authority. Like I said, this is about a king-like figure. It doesn't have to be a man, just someone in a position of authority who is, makes executive decisions, calls the shots, that kind of thing. That's what this is dealing with. But this is also a uh, suggestion to remain in your power, right? Because that's what on um, the healed, the lighter side of the Emperor is this ability to control your emotions, control your thoughts, control your actions, you know, really be an authority of all aspects of yourself, especially when dealing with stuff like this. Yeah, the Ace of Cups again. Yeah, so this is, like I said, this is revival, renewal, healing, especially in matters related to the heart, things that hit deep. You know, I see the Ace of Cup as a representation of the heart center of us all. Page of Swords, yeah. So, um, you can see it says awakened on there. So once again, something is coming out, and there's going to be this urge to want to talk about it. And I think that's the advice that you should talk about it. These fresh new things coming to light should be talked about. You shouldn't just hold it all inside. But there's also a warning of like don't be a gossip here. Like make sure that you're leading with your heart, right? And not just like talking crap just to talk crap. I mean, I know it can be fun to do that, but it can also be dangerous. And then finally, Nine of Cups, satisfaction. So Nine of Cups, well, there's it seems like there's a really satisfying outcome to all of this for someone, probably the people who didn't know what was going on, right? There's like this restoration that is happening. But as advice, Nine of Cups is to the advice is to embrace the I want to say the silver lining. That's what's coming to my mind. It's like you got to take the good with the bad, right? But it's it's to communicate the good, right? The good from the situation, not just focus on talking crap or talking bad about it, but like when all of this is made known, there is going to be this like relief, this satisfaction, this fulfillment of something. So that's what it, that's the message here that Spirit is bringing is to focus on that. And I think that is wonderful advice. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed the message. Yeah, this is. I'm excited. I mean, makes for a good story, right? I know this is like actual life. However, this is playing out, but everything is actual life, right? And we have to contend with it. Like these things do happen, and if we want to do better as like a species, as humans, then we have to acknowledge that these things are real and that ignoring them ain't gonna change anything. So we need to talk about it, right? Be awakened to it, and Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups, just really try to heal and look at the positives and see the good in things like this coming to light, not just get mired down in, oh, how horrible, oh my god, how could anyone do that, blah blah blah. Well, it happened. So what are you gonna do now? Now that you know, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how I got back on the soapbox there. I guess Spirit was just like, no, save this last little bit. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Found something useful here, entertainment at the very least. Yeah, as always, take care of your spells. Take care of your spells. Wow. So yeah, watch your words. Be careful what you're saying, right? I mean, yeah, that is really coming through strong here. That was a little slip up. But yes, be careful with the words you use because they hold immense power over your reality, and everyone around you, right? Um, but yes, as always, take care of yourselves. Especially, we're dealing with the sixth house once again. Um, yes, expand your health. Jupiter in the sixth house. Expand your health, and we can be healthy with our words, healthy with our bodies, healthy with our emotions, all of that. But anyway, take care of yourself. Keep your heart open. Bye.